Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's for
Turtle time.
Trisha Paytas has announced that she'd like to run for Congress. But first, it looks like she'll need to check with her son Aquaman to see if he'd be willing to abdicate from his throne in Atlantis. Trisha Paytas in Congress? I bet she would fit right in. Amy, what do you think politically about this?
I just saw her video where she was eating pasta and seeing what the deadlines were. And at first, because I haven't checked in with her in a minute, my immediate gut is when someone says they're doing something like that, that usually rings like a red flag to me of someone with bad politics. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, Trisha has good politics. So I was like, go girl.
That's awesome. Good. Oh, I'm so glad that this was on your radar. Sometimes I'll say news stories that just are completely horrible and no one gives a shit about, but I'm glad that this was on your radar. Yeah, I say give it a whirl. Try it out.
No, I would love to see her name on the ballot. Remember, I feel like that used to be more of a thing where you'd be reading the ballot and there'd be some jokesters on there or some randos.
Absolutely. A lot of prank names like Bill Underpants or yeah. Oh, of course. I remember. Yeah, those write-in names where you get a certain amount of signatures and they have to let you on there. I've always wanted to run for Congress.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Megan doesn't want me to get into politics, but I really would love to do it. For my district. For my specific district. No. I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. But let's wish Trisha Paytas a huge. Let her do it. Who? It's not going to hurt anybody.
It'll start a conversation.
Absolutely. So congrats to Trisha Paytas, and then we have to talk now about news that is specific to Bravo, please. We are going to end this news segment with talking about this Salt Lake City trailer. But first, there were some major things that happened over the weekend since we last recorded. Apparently, I don't know if you saw this, but in Miami, some stuff is going on. Real Housewives of Miami. First of all, Jody, wonderful Jody. We all like Jody. Lisa Hochstein's boyfriend of a couple of years, he posted a photo and he was by himself, and it looked like a photo from Leftovers where he had his arm around someone who was not there. And it looked like, or the Back to the Future photo, where someone has disappeared. And somebody goes, where the hell is Lisa Hochstein in your photos? And he wrote, me and Lisa have unfortunately separated. Please give us my time to process this. Or, that kind of like that classic statement. And then he deleted it.
Interesting. I mean, they were having issues that we, remember in their confessional, he kept saying stuff and she'd be like, shut up, don't say that here.
Yeah, she kept saying, shut up. He'd say something and she'd be like, shut up, Jody. I think it was about, he doesn't like being on the show very much. And he felt like he's a target of some ire. I remember Larsa Pippen kind of, said some stuff about him, like, why are you getting into our business? There was the AC gate about accusing him of doing a bunch of blow in a private room with his friends. So maybe it was just too much tricky stuff that they couldn't get over, and they've since left each other. You saw this news story though, right? It's real, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw it a few different places. And there's another Miami thing that we're going to talk about, but it's just funny how certain shows, and this Miami is one of them, where I literally forget everyone exists when the show isn't on.
Of course.
Like some of the other ones are so prominent, like Beverly Hills. If there's news about Kyle Richards, I'm like, she's ever present. Like she's basically just like a regular celebrity, So news that comes up, I'm like, of course. But then Miami and some other ones, like what's her name from Atlanta? Is it Britt that she's getting divorced? And I was like, haven't thought of her for a single second.
Totally. No, I get what you mean. Very much out of sight, out of mind for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of like, I love Lisa Hochstein more than anyone in the world, but I'm kind of like, huh? Who? She did what?
Who?
I love you, but who are you dating? But I gotta say it. I'm the only one who loves Jody and Lisa. Like, I loved them so much. I thought they were so fun, and they matched. They complemented each other so well. I was always wondering what the hell is going on, and you guys love each other so much.
Did you make a TikTok about this?
About Lisa
The breakup?
No, not yet.
You should.
oh, I know. Yeah, maybe Lisa would like it. I'm like the one person who was really happy for both of them. I thought they were cute despite
Yeah.
their differences. But what I mean, maybe they'll get back together, but this is sad news if they stay separated. But then talk about on the opposite end of things, the opposite of getting separated. You saw this news, right? With Alexia.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you explain it to me? Because I just kept seeing a picture of her in Paris, and then I was getting I know there's more info, so can you tell me?
She was in Paris?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my God. I didn't see her in Paris. That is so cool by the Eiffel Tower. That is awesome. Well, okay. So here's what happened first. Todd Nepola, who I used to love, who I was wrong about, he's a little bit of a stinker. He put a huge lawsuit into the world suing Bravo, as is people's want. Sometimes they like to sue Bravo. He felt like he was there were some defamatory comments laid about on this season of Miami. So he made this 12-minute video being like, never will you defame my image. I am suing Bravo completely. And I was like, Todd, that is so lame. The one who was defaming you the most was Alexia. She called you the king of all narcissists and that you should be put in a mental institution. Like, she was going nuts. But he then, just recently, he dropped his lawsuit against Bravo, and he dropped it with prejudice. Did you hear this?
So that means he can't do it again.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't even know about this. I kind of knew with prejudice a little bit from watching lawyer stuff, A Few Good Men and stuff like this. But I never in a million years thought that you could be like, hey, drop my lawsuit that I started and make sure it's with prejudice so I'll never do something like this again. It's kind of weird to do with prejudice on yourself, don't you think?
I didn't know you could do it directed at yourself.
Yeah. And
or
now,
is it like does the judge do that? Like, this is dismissed and you can't fucking come back here.
Well, we got some little turtle cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs who will be up, who will tell us the truth here. But I thought it was like, don't let me do this again, Your Honor. Please.
Save me from myself.
If I'm ever back here in a year complaining about defamation on Bravo, say no. I'm with prejudice, but who knows? And it's also like my case was so frivolous, Your Honor, that I demand it's with prejudice.
I'm going to give you the key. Don't tell me where it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then, gosh, I forgot the second part of the story. Queens of Bravo, great exclusive for them. Someone sent a message to Queens of Bravo, and it was a reputable source. And they said, Todd and Alexia have been with each other this entire time. Don't believe that reunion shit. And this I believe. I don't know what the hell is going on between Todd and Alexia. I don't really believe their timeline about anything. This anonymous DM to Queens of Bravo said that Alexia and Todd are still together. So that obviously makes sense when you think about it in terms of Todd now not wanting to be in an active litigation against Bravo. He's like, I love Alexia and I want to stay together with her, and she loves Bravo more than anybody.
Right. Yeah. That's wild. I mean, that's brutal, kind of embarrassing, but
yeah.
Is that even, I was going to say good for the show, but is it? Like, I feel like we're sick of that whole
I
thing.
don't know. Yeah, you're right. Who knows what this stuff means? I think Todd is going to have to do a lot to win back my favor.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are out.
And Frankie.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God, he treated Frankie so badly. Absolutely. So I don't know if Todd. This is a good step forward for Todd because I was really pissed at him. I was one of his champions, and I was pissed when he sued Bravo. So this is a nice way to gain my favor back. And maybe if he really makes the case for himself on this upcoming season of Miami, like maybe he could win us all back as a community.
Right. Yeah, I saw Queens of Bravo tweeted, she uses that meme of like, I don't know what it's from, but it's a woman like crying and frantically smoking a cigarette, like to cue distress. And she said, Alexia back with Todd, Lisa broken up with Jody, Adriana in a neck brace for Christmas, and the Bravo cameras aren't up. And I'm like, Adriana in a neck brace? Say more. That's actually the most interesting of the three.
Oh my God. I didn't even.
Can you imagine?
No.
She'd be like, I am crippled. Help me.
I can't imagine. I didn't even see the photo of her. Yeah. I mean,
me neither. I quickly looked at her Instagram to corroborate, but maybe it was stories.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, Queens of Bravo is right. Let's give them their respect. Those are a lot of huge news stories in Miami. It's kind of like, do you remember in Mad Men and Sopranos where the seasons would start and it'd be 6 months or 8 months in the future, and Janice would just have a baby, and Bobby and her would have gotten married, and they're just like, hey, we're 9 months in the future. You just have to gather what happened in between the time.
Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. It's like you can fill in the blanks. Like they do that all the time. So that's kind of what Miami is like. It'll be like, remember when I was in a neck brace for Christmas? They'll be like, explain
I hope
that.
they have footage.
Yeah. So wild Miami news, definitely. Well, I mean, not the craziest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Not that wild. I don't know if I'm that person smoking a cigarette with the house about to blow up, thinking about that kind of stuff. But this last one, okay, we're moving towards Salt Lake City trailer recap. But lastly, Andy Cohen was on his show called My Name is Andy on Sirius XM, and he goes, I went to TikTok to see how the youth were receiving my New Year's Eve performance. And he goes, and I got a bunch of margarita lady TikToks that were suffocating me. And he talked about how horrible they were. And this, we know now, margarita lady is Bethany Frankel. He was talking
I'm
about.
kind of shook by this. I feel like he always historically takes the high road with former talent.
Yeah.
Like he almost never talks shit. He's pretty stern about Jen Shaw, but she's a felon. Like, that makes sense. And it's usually just when he's asked about whether or not she'll come back to the show. But he doesn't generally talk shit. He's usually pretty, like, even keel about that stuff, or like professional. And I'm like, I know that they've been feuding forever, but has something happened since? Or like, has she just continued to piss him off that he's like really doesn't give a shit anymore?
I think the reality reckoning was just such a big deal for him. I mean, she tried to take down him and the Bravo empire single-handedly
Like
for a really long time, for like a year. I mean, we kind of forget about it now because it kind of fizzled out. No offense to Bethany. It did. I mean, it definitely flopped. Offense to Bethany. It really flopped. But we had a year of that, talking about the reality reckoning. I think that's a big deal. And I think Andy now feels comfortable coming for the person that tried to ruin his life in a way. And I think that, but also you could imagine that he's kind of, he's poking her to the point where if I know Bethany well enough, I feel like she is going to go toe to toe with him again. It's like, do you really want to be back in the ring? With Bethany? Like, you've made a bunch of margarita lady comments in the last 3 months.
If you're going to come for this bee, you better not miss.
Seriously. And these have missed so far. I mean, Bethany's still doing whatever the hell she's doing. I saw actually not no offense, condolences to Bethany. She got a horrible parasite in her face on in St. Bart's or something. Did you see that? It came on the heels of this Andy news. She's got a horrible face virus.
Yeah, I saw she got a bacterial infection. She was in St. Bart's amongst all of the billionaires and Leonardo DiCaprio and everyone else who got stranded because of the Venezuela situation. All the airspace was shut down because it's like right there.
Why were they all in St. Bart's together? Of course, yeah.
Apparently, like every rich person on Earth flew to St. Bart's for New Year's.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, like Jeff Bezos and Kris Jenner, and I saw that like Miles Teller and Glenn Powell were there, like Alex Earl. For some reason, just like every single PJ flew to St. Bart's.
Top Gun Maverick reunion. Glenn Powell, Miles Teller, right?
True. And Shep was there, and Shep was actually the first person that let me know that the airspace was closed, because on Instagram he was like, we had gone from St. Bart to St. Martin and we're trapped because no flights are leaving. And he was like, St. Martin kind of sucks. We're going to take a boat back to St. Bart because if we're going to be trapped, we'd rather be there. But I think Bethany, because of a mix of maybe her face, and she said she got some like bad news back home. I don't know what it was. It was like something sad. Okay. That her and her daughter got the hell out of Dodge. And so I think she got back before the airspace was closed. So she was lucky in that sense.
Wow. Yeah. So, So sort of, in a way, you could imagine that she's lucky for getting that bacterial infection on her face. I just looked it up. I was like, what the hell were all these celebrities doing flocking to St. Bart's? And it's just a popular destination for a lot of people. It's there's no reason. It doesn't
just
seem
the hot spot. And Bethany made a video about how it sucks and everything is expensive and like douchey. And I'm like, well, you should have known that. But did you see Leo had to Skype in? Oh my God, I'm so old. I said Skype.
Oh, you meant Zoom.
That came straight from the dome, straight from the recesses.
He Skyped into the Critics' Choice Awards?
The Palm Springs International Film Festival. He got back for Critics' Choice.
Oh,
so I
good.
guess everything is fine. But he was supposed to be back for the Palm Springs because he was getting some award like in Jay Kelly. And so that's embarrassing because they had to, of course he got dogged on, like Chelsea Handler made fun of him at Critics' Choice because it's like, that's his big secret is that he's the environmentalist of the century who hangs out on yachts and private jets with Jeff Bezos.
You mean the hypocrisy of these yachts blowing up big plumes of smoke or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's not great.
No. Oh my God. Well, wow. I did not know about all this St. Bart stuff. Wow. Shep says St. Martin sucks. Bethany says St. Bart sucks. But they're all still going there. Wow. Well, that's amazing. Anything else to say about? I mean, well, I guess my last point is just that. Well, we were talking about Bethany and Andy or whatever. Like maybe Bethany will be the one now to like bite her tongue and not ever say something back to Andy. Like maybe she'll just go on her run. But it is very notable that Andy has continued to make these public denouncements of Bethany.
I know, it's interesting. I saw it's kind of funny. That guy that does the like dispatches of Bethany's videos, he I think was also in St. Bart. And he was saying, like, Bethany is like a mile from me right now. Is she going to track me down?
Wow.
And everyone was like, be careful. She's behind you.
Oh my gosh, that's so silly. I wonder if any of our little turtle cuties or Villa Rosa VIPs went to St. Bart's for the holidays. Let us know how it was. Seems cool. If you you're like, I didn't want to go to the restaurant and they're like Jeff Bezos and Shep are hanging out at the same table. Like, that's kind of interesting. A lot of people in St. Bart's at the same time.
Yeah, I'm too poor. Even if someone flew me there for free, I'd be like afraid that I was going to get charged for one single thing. It would be like on Next Gen when they get left with that bottle service bill, and I'd be like, no.
Oh yeah, you can't. Oh, we should do a thing. We should do a series where you and I go to St. Bart's. We spend all of our money, but we say how to live easy and almost free on St. Bart's for the week, and we're like digging in dumpsters and asking if we can finish the food on people's plates.
Yeah, I'll be like, there's some shrimp tails left on Glenn Powell's seafood tower.
That'd be so cool. Glenn, do you mind? I loved you in Top Gun Maverick. Do you mind if I eat the rest of that shrimp that you left on the table?
Do you have any Linklater projects coming up? Try and like be like, I know where your heart really lies,
Oh, that would be great. If you asked him, do you have a Richard Linklater project in the works, and you kind of block him from me eating the rest of his food on his plate?
Like, over here.
Hey, I love that scene that you danced in that Running Man. Hey, have you seen? You can see me running like this, and then, that is great. How to Live Cheaply on St. Bart's for the Weekend by Amy and Riley from Turtle Time.
How to eat Miles Teller's oysters.
Yeah, that's great. Well, good. Well, congrats to everybody who went to St. Bart's. Sorry about what happened. Bethany got out early. That's kind of interesting. Now, lastly of this news segment, we got to talk about this. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion is coming up faster than you can say Salt Lake City in a week.
Yes.
But they released this 3-part trailer, and it features what I think is a first in Bravo history of Andy Cohen walking out, right? Is that a first? I couldn't watch every reunion in history. I think so. I've never seen it before in my life, and the way they sort of play it up by ending the trailer with that, I think it means something. Andy goes, enough. He goes, I'm fed up as hell. And he goes, I'm walking off. And they go, no, Andy, please come back. And he goes fully out. He doesn't even fake like a turn to come back. It looks like he disappears into a room at the end of this trailer.
Yeah. It has to be either he's being extra or it had to be really bad because he's always trying to keep everybody on the clock. He gets pissed when people walk off because it ruins their timing.
Yeah, of course. And a lot of people walk off. I mean, almost everybody, I think, has had a walk-off moment. They even show Whitney Rose walking off to gather herself or collect herself in this trailer. But him walking off, I think it's going to be not something so explosive. I think it's going to be one of those times where people are all arguing at the same time and he can't even hear himself think for like over 3 minutes. Yeah. And he's just going to be like, if you guys can't tamp this down, I'm walking off it. And he does.
Yeah, he's definitely lost his temper many times.
Oh my God.
Screaming to shut up. And then, the other one that comes up, which isn't of his doing, but just when he got shoved by Teresa, I always think about.
Me too. Oh yeah, he was so, I forget, it was a very recent reunion where he was so pissed that he screamed at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Enough. What if it was that someone said something so offensive to him at the reunion that he walked off?
Yeah, he's like, how dare you? Fuck you.
No, it's
But-
just gonna be arguing, I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll get pissed that no one's listening. But then the best part is that Mary is like, Andy, no, please. And she
Yeah.
like gets up, like she's like, what? Don't leave me here.
Yeah, no, everyone else was arguing, I think, except Mary. This was not the most, I hope that they're saving a lot of stuff, and this was sort of just a little tease, because there wasn't a lot of huge bombshells in this thing. Like, Angie's going to bring a new little scroll. I saw that.
Yeah.
That was like I think, show evidence that Lisa Barlow was behind some online campaign or to point things back to Lisa Barlow. Whitney Rose says that she's going through a really tough time. I think maybe possibly with Justin or for her businesses. Nothing is.
Remember her daughter was sick? Has that happened on the show already, or would that be maybe what she was talking about?
You might be right. I forgot about her daughter being very sick.
I forget what it was, and it sounds like she's been doing okay. But remember, there was that time where her daughter was like in the hospital, so I think it might be that.
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So not something with Justin. Okay. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. They're going to talk about the Meredith stuff. Meredith accuses Heather of screeching at her for the entire season, and Heather says, "That's it. I've had enough. We are no longer friends." That's something that I saw coming because. Heather going against Meredith this season was very notable, that she wanted to sort of be an antagonist. So that was interesting. Anything else about the trailer that you wanted to highlight?
Just that we got confirmation that Bronwyn says her and Todd are separated in it. Right. Also, Bronwyn in full long hair glam, which pleased me. I thought that was fun. And then sadly, Mary confirms that her son is in jail, and she says, like, the saddest line, she says she would rather him be there than dead. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this story is so brutal at every turn. Also, I don't know if we want to talk about this, but on the Meredith front, there was that video where Monica Garcia did like a TikTok dance and was like, remember when somebody got carted away for alcohol poisoning? And it seemed to be implied that it was Meredith, right? Or did she literally say it?
No, so it was actually, so you're right. And I want to talk about this. Monica Garcia was dancing for a really long time. And on the text was when another cast member of Salt Lake City got wheeled away in an ambulance for alcohol poisoning, and they demanded that producers never show it. And apparently she was Team Meredith, saying that this happened to someone else on the cast. And then she goes, #not Whitney. And a lot of people who are good at the internet deduce that this could have been Heather remember when Heather was barfing up espresso martinis in that van, that quite possibly she felt so sick barfing. She had like 12 of those that she was barfing. And then she was so poisoned by alcohol that she had to go to the ambulance, and they didn't want to include it because it was just too dark in kind of a fun Palm Springs edit. Because I remember when that happened. So
I feel like she would own that. She'd be like, yeah.
yeah. I mean, she should be accountable now. I mean, if she wanted to honor something that Monica said. But yeah, it was Monica letting us know some secret, revealing some secret from her filming, to kind of validate Meredith, to be like, well, at least she wasn't the one who had her stomach pumped or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Good to hear from Monica again. My worst take in the history was I was like, what will Salt Lake City do without Monica? She was the full source of everything, and it's like they've had 2 seasons that are just as good.
I always forget she exists in any capacity, and then she'll pop up with something like this. I'm like, oh, I sent you something. This is off topic, but there's this drama going on right now with like a Hollywood mom group that Ashley Tisdale wrote like a think piece or something about like how to leave your toxic friend group or something. And I think it's potentially she isn't friends with Mandy Moore or Hillary Duff anymore. It's like this whole thing. And Crystal Minkoff posted about it and was like, I kind of invented this, remember, like hashtag 14 friends, hashtag like whatever. And I was like, you still think that storyline is like firm on our minds, that you lost your old friends and that people were like questioning whether or not you kept your old, like, I'm like, that was like the bottom of the totem pole then.
Yeah. Well, kind of the worst case scenario of someone remembering like their triumphant moments that they think everybody remembers. And it's like that. I don't remember that for 1 second. I do not remember the hashtag 14 friends movement where she lost all of her friends. Who's Ashley Tisdale?
High School Musical.
Oh, an actor?
Mhm.
Oh. And she said, I got to get out of my Hillary Duff and Mandy Moore group chat because they're
Apparently.
toxic
I think
moms.
Toxic moms. I think she goes by Ashley French now. She got married, but she's Ashley Tisdale.
Okay. I've never heard of her, but wow, man, I would not get out of that friend group for the life of me. I'd be like, I'm staying in here. I don't care what the hell you guys are saying. Like we always say about Instagram, just mute it or give them the ha-has every once in a while. You and I are in 7 group chats together. All we do is we can just give ha-has, emphasize. That was great.
Have you started getting Gmail replies that are emojis? Like sometimes
No.
people will, there's a now at the bottom of the Gmail, you could like heart it, but then like the person receiving that gets a whole ass email that's just a heart.
Whoa, no.
And it's like kind of weird. Like you're like, if you aren't privy to the fact that there's those auto replies, you think that someone's just like sending you a heart.
Whoa, no, I haven't even, this hasn't come
Like
on
that
my
might
radar.
get people in trouble.
Totally. Yeah. If I just received a random heart from someone or I accidentally sent one out, like what the hell? No, I have not seen that. Wow. Well, okay. Well, good. Well, Ashley Tisdale, congrats on getting out of it. If that group made you unhappy, Hillary Duff saying whatever the hell she likes to say in those group chats, Mandy Moore saying whatever the hell.
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started on what Mandy Moore probably brings to the table in terms of those group chats. So congrats, Tisdale. You got to get out of these. Gosh, there's nothing more emphatic than when it says Ashley Tisdale has left the group. That causes group chats to spiral.
Boom.
Have you ever left a group before? I've had people leave a group on me.
I've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it too. It's devastating. You're like, and then it gets the group chat on fire after that. They're going, what the hell? Did you all see that?
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Well, that would have been, they were shocked that day.
Yeah, that's huge. And then lastly, I just really quickly, because I know it's been on the tip of our tongues, I wanted to tell you that I saw, is this thing on? And
Wow.
The main thing I have to report, which I didn't even realize until I listened to a different podcast, that the title works in 2 ways. Did you realize this? Did you think about this?
No,
I know you haven't seen it, but.
No, can I think of the one way that I think it does? You tell a joke. It's a smattering of applause and only one laugh. And then you do a kind of comically heightened dot, tap, tap. Is this thing on? Because do you guys not hear my joke?
Right.
Tell me what the second way is. Okay,
so low key, not the comedy plays a much smaller role than I had expected, which was pleasing to me because that was my main concern.
There's nothing worse than a stand-up comedian in filmed entertainment.
So it's mostly about his him and Laura Dern's freshly made decision to separate and deciding essentially if they should reconcile. So it's kind of like, is this thing that we're doing? Are we on?
Oh, him and Laura Dern are thinking about getting back together. Is this thing on our relationship?
Yeah.
Wow. What podcast were you listening to that kind of defined that for you?
Who Weekly.
Wow. That's great.
Thanks, Bobby Finger. I never would have ever put that together in a million years.
Huge scoop for Who Weekly. Wow, that's great. Is this thing on? So you liked this movie?
I thought it was sweet. It's really just a relationship like dramedy. The comedy, it works because they don't pretend that he's good. He's like, he randomly walks in, he's like high, and he just like gets on stage at the cellar or whatever and puts his name on the list. And he's just doing like confessional comedy, but he's really just sort of like spilling his guts, and then he likes it and he keeps doing it. But it's like, he's like charming, but he's not like hilarious. But like the other comedians are like, you'll get better. You know, like it's not like, holy shit, like you're amazing. It's like he's just like talking honestly. Like
I see.
confessional. And then, yeah, it's kind of just a sweet, like little movie that I feel like they don't make very many of. And I'm glad that it wasn't on Netflix or Amazon because it would have just been like lost to time. And I thought it was a cute movie.
That's great. Well, good. I'm so glad. I talked about being revolted by that film, like for no reason other than just like the idea of Will Arnett doing stand-up comedy in New York, and like I just, like I said, I don't like stand-up comedy approximated in like
Sure.
TV shows and movies, just because it's always usually so bad and
Right.
lame. But if that's not the central focus of it, then I could probably be. I like Bradley Cooper. I was the one who was saying I haven't even seen Maestro, and I was like, oh my god, give him a break that he worked his heart off. This seems like he kind of wanted to do a more slapdash production after spending 6 years on Maestro. He's like, well, look, I can just churn out this thing where it's fun and lighthearted. I
Yeah.
don't know if he's trying to sort of like get away from the auteurish sensibility
Right.
or something with this one.
Yeah. And he plays a comedic relief role himself. He plays like sort of like a weirdo, like stoner actor
Cool.
who's for some reason named Balls.
It's you got me laughing. Did you say comic relief? His name is Balls. That's very funny.
He also, I made a little jokey list on Letterboxd because both in sentimental value and in Is This Thing On, men use an entire roll, like still on the roll, paper towels to clean up. Like they just wipe
Whoa.
with the roll. And I was
That's-
like, I just saw this.
That's a great list. So in this thing, is this thing on that happens? A huge full paper towel mess to clean up?
Bradley Cooper spills milk because he's like a fuck up. He like trips and falls and spills milk, and then someone hands him paper towels and he just like puts the whole thing on the floor and is
Oh,
like
wow.
wiping it around.
Oh, wow. That's sort of, that's mainly in films, I think, that they use that strategy to clean up.
It's like my nightmare. If someone I did that in my presence, I'd be like, those are like $7. Are you insane?
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot. So let me go through a hypothetical really quick. If I came in stoned to your apartment and I said, I want to eat a bunch of your refrigerated food, and I took a big gallon of milk out of your fridge saying, can I have a swig of this too? And I slipped and fell and I spilled a full gallon and I'm too high to clean it up. How are you cleaning it up? Towel? Like actual towel from the
Well,
bathroom?
I mean, yeah, potentially just a few clicks, depending how lazy I'm feeling. Like I'm never pulling the whole thing. I try and use as few squares as possible.
Of course.
But I also have a stack of like absorbent cloths
Oh, that's great.
that I'll just throw in the wash. So I'll usually, like when Norman barfs, I'll use those, unless sorry, depending on its liquid versus form factor, because sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to do this.
Of course. I know exactly what you mean. Well, I didn't know you had those absorbent cloths. Those would work
Thanks
perfectly.
to my Elva, my cleaning woman, she brought them to the table herself. Like that's when you know you're going above and beyond. I open sometimes there'll be new ones. I'll open the cut and she cuts them like into like smaller squares. And I recently opened the cupboard. I was like, "Ooh, she added more. Hell yeah!"
That is so cool. I've been looking for an alternative. There's such a wide discrepancy between using a bunch of paper towels and using a full bath towel. So the fact that there's this sort of medium between where you could sort of absorb with. But you said they're disposable though. Those absorbent cloths.
No, I put them in the washer.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. That's even better because then you don't even have to be wasteful.
Eco-friendly.
That's great. Well, good. Well, that answers my question. One last thing I wanted to say about back on Is This Thing. Well, this is actually, it's not, this is going to seem kind of, why do we need to go back to Bradley Cooper? But I was remembering Bradley Cooper because I was trying to think of the highlights of Bradley Cooper because I've lost sight of him because of his movie career and things are starting to fizzle, or possibly they are. But I wanted to spotlight when he was that guy in Licorice Pizza.
Oh, right.
Where he was the hairdresser or whatever, based off a real life person. And I remember watching Licorice Pizza and it being like 75% of this movie that I didn't really care about at all. And then the 25% where Bradley Cooper in it was by far the better film. Like you could tell that Paul Thomas Anderson probably wanted to focus on that. Like he was doing the craziest shit running around. And Bradley Cooper was so good as that character.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was
what's that
cool.
guy's name? He like dated Barbara Streisand. Were they married?
He was the inspiration for Shampoo.
And then he dated Pamela Anderson like recently, and I think he owns all the rights to Superman.
He does. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay, yeah. I just was like, whoa, I forgot about that. Like that was my favorite part of that movie. And it was so detrimental to the actual movie that you had this vibrant, fun character that was just like ruling over everyone that you weren't focused on. But
Right.
anyway, well, that was kind of just about Bradley Cooper. But anyway, we talked about absorbent cloths. We talked about Is This Thing On? I think
Yep.
now you and I should move on
Yes.
to recapping Vanderpump Rules this week, which was called Seeing Red Flags.
Yes. I guess that title works.
Yeah, I think we got to stop talking about flags. Well, you and I are the only people that dissect these titles, but we can't have any more red flags, green flags, beach bags, and red flags. No more, but whatever.
Sea hags and red flags.
Sea hags and if they go to the beach, sea hags and red flags. But I actually really I liked this episode. After us being a little we were in despair over last week's episode a little bit. We were kind of like, who are these people and do we really care? I think that there was something very for me compelling about like the OnlyFans aspect of this, and then definitely seeing Angelica and Jason like actually showing the demise of that relationship in one episode was kind of fun for me. The only problem that I think I still have is that this doesn't seem like an organic friend group still. Like it's so different than the original Vanderpump Rules, where when they would all go to the Abbey together, it was like 7 friends, and like they had such interesting dynamics with all of them. Like they were a cohesive group, and this group still kind of feels like 2 of them know each other kind of well, but they don't know Natalie very well. You know what I mean? When they went out to all party together, I could really sense that this is kind of a fractured, not real friend group, which
Right.
you know, I mean, it's something that could be remedied if they start to love each other and you know, and the show progresses on. But
Right.
you know.
Yeah, there's still some like stilted parts. Like I feel like every time Jason and Angelica talk, I'm like, is this like a dating show? Like they're like, we need to talk. I have something to tell you. Like it's all very like stiff.
Yeah. It was a little stiff for sure. I mean, we'll talk about the Angelica part of this whole thing, but the date that they go on, there was some stuff that happens in this episode where it gave me that thrill of not watching stuff that seems too scripted, because why the hell was Jason throwing Angelica around like he was, tackling her to the ground, spinning her around over his head?
He
was
not smart.
No, it was shocking to me, the fact that she got hurt from that date, just to go a little bit ahead. Like he hurt her. He was spinning her around, flinging her over his head,
flinging around like a rag doll. And then when they got to the jujitsu place, he was like doing backflips and like back handstands and shit. I was like, he really wants us to know this is his thing.
There is nothing more mortifying to me, in my opinion, like of actually getting too into your jujitsu lesson that you're hurting your partner. Like I totally understood why Angelica was like, I never want to see this person again. I got physically hurt on our date. He's spinning me around too much. So there is some fun stuff bubbling up. And then I did love when they all go to the Abbey. I just have such fondness for the Abbey. I was like, it's just sitting right there, one block down from Sir.
Where's that show?
Oh my God, it is so fucking awesome when they get to the Abbey. So let's breeze through this thing. Okay. Starts out, Lisa's having her pre-all hands meeting with it's like called the pre-staff meeting with Guillermo and Natalie, and Guillermo is producing a movie, right?
Yeah.
Called
apparently he's been an actor this whole time.
I had no idea, but it's
We
a big
should
deal.
have known.
Yeah, and they're going to have a premiere for this film at SUR, which I think this is the first time that they've had a premiere. And then I think Natalie is the one who says, guess what? Lisa goes, is Chris doing okay? And they're like, yeah, the ladies love him here. I think that Natalie goes, but I think he's a sex worker, from someone who messaged me, said he's a sex worker. And then they go, no, it's OnlyFans. And then they all go, well, we don't care. Like, that's totally fine. Not a big deal. But they're just letting us know, I guess, ahead of time that Chris has an OnlyFans account, but they're not being
Right.
like judgmental about it. And they say as long as it doesn't affect his work, we don't care, what kind of shit he does on OnlyFans.
Yeah, Natalie's like, what is this? How you say a gigolo? OnlyFans? And Guillermo's like, I don't see anything wrong with that. And they're like, oh, you know what OnlyFans is? Let's check your phone. And they're like, yeah, like he's a sex worker. And Lisa goes, so am I. It's a fucking job when you've been married 42 years. And I'm like, it's kind of sad at this point because I'm like, what are the odds that her and Ken really do still get down?
Oh, I would say, there's an 80% chance that they have sex once every 4 months.
That'd be pretty
50% chance that they have 50% chance that they have sex once every 4 months.
Ken looked good in person.
He
He
looked-
was doing better than I expected.
He looked amazing. Oh my God. No, he looked so good. And then we get a classic Lisa. I've heard her say this 100 times. She goes, OnlyFans. She goes, where we come from in Europe, nobody wears clothes anyway. And I've heard her say that like 100 times when she's talking about James and her, being from England. So she doesn't give a shit about this. It was kind of like they didn't know how to talk about this. And it's like, yeah, you all don't care. Why did you have to be the ones who brought this up? Audrey's going to bring it up in 15 minutes. And it's much better coming from Audrey than it is you guys all talking about his OnlyFans account in a meeting.
Yeah. That was, remember when Lala got her titties out in Hawaii and James was talking about it. And Lisa's like, you and me, we don't care about stuff like that. We're from Europe.
Totally. Yeah. She was like, yeah, she says this a lot. She's like, in Europe, nobody's wearing clothes. Nude beaches, she always says.
Yeah, she's like, Ibiza, don't get me started. She also says that sometimes Guillermo is called the South American George Clooney.
Totally.
I don't know if she's the only one that's ever said that, but sure.
But when they did that side by side, I was like, I can see it. And he kind of, when we saw him at that party, he kind of looked like George Clooney. Remember that photo he took with us?
It's true. He was ready to go. Have we ever talked? Why would we ever talk about this? You know the actor Adam Arkin? He looks exactly like
I know
George
Alan.
Clooney.
Oh wait, hold on. I know Alan Arkin. What'd you say? Did you say?
Yeah, it's his son.
Oh, sorry. What's the first name?
Adam
Arkin. You
He,
said
like,
oh my God. You are saying he looks like Guillermo.
and George Clooney.
Oh my God, you're right. Holy
He
shit.
should play Guillermo in the Sir movie.
Oh, I've seen this guy, Adam Arkin. I think he's in Halloween 20 years later.
He's in all kinds of shit.
He plays the school counselor that Jamie Lee Curtis wants to start kissing. And he, unfortunately, spoilers, but I think he meets his demise at the hands of Michael Myers. Oh, I didn't know who that was. I didn't know that was Alan
Yeah.
Arkin's son.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. That's
I
great.
think he's like a director too. Like he does it all. Anyways,
No,
had to
we
shout
haven't-
out.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. Sons of Anarchy. Oh my God. I didn't know who it was. I love Halloween Halloween 20 years later. Okay. Then okay, next up we have they also talk about Marcus DJing. They go, look at him. He's gonna DJ his ass off. Okay. Then we go to Angelica and Natalie at a nail salon.
Yep.
Natalie apologized to Angelica for pushing her at the restaurant in Orange County last week. And so they're like fine to talk again. And then Angelica tells Natalie, she goes, guess what happened? That guy, Jason, texted me at the restaurant saying, mommy, can you come meet me at a bar with me and Marcus? And then she arrived and he never showed up there. He got too tired and sleepy and he couldn't say. So she's kind of taken aback by this. Like after that, like after he'd already slighted her before at Barney's Beanery, now he's slighted her again by not showing up after inviting her to a bar hang.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed the text and he's like, sorry, like, let's just go out to a restaurant. I'll take you. And she's like, you mean like a date? And he goes, yes, mommy.
Yeah, I remember. And we talked about last week how he likes to say, he goes, mommy, you should have came up to me and said, I want you, mommy. Or what did he say? Or he said, I'm yours, mommy.
That's mommy.
That's mommy. He wanted her to get him back off his feet, and he wanted her to say, that's mommy.
I'm obsessed with that's mommy. Like, does it mean like that is so mommy or like that's my mommy?
Yeah, I think it
Like,
means that's my
that's
mommy.
mommy.
I
Like,
think it's
you know her, that's mommy. Or like,
that is mommy. Wait, what's the sorry? I'm getting a little lost. Is it that's mommy? Like that is mommy? Like emphatic. That is mommy. Like I'm
something a
showing off to
mommy
my
would
friends.
do.
Mommy is yeah, that is mommy. Like it's giving mommy. That evokes mommy for me.
Yeah.
Or and the
Or
other
like,
one is
that girl is my mommy.
I think he meant it has to be the former because you don't want it to be the latter. That girl is my mommy. She gets me out of these Barney's Beanery entanglements. No, you want it to be it's giving mommy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're learning that he does like saying mommy, and it kind of makes more sense what he said last week.
Yeah.
And then Natalie goes, "Oh, sorry, go ahead."
I was gonna just say, because I'm obsessed with demarcating geography and who's going where, and some of them live in Burbank, some of them live in West Hollywood. I don't know where Angelica or Natalie live. I'm sure they showed us, but I don't know the actual location. But this nail salon is in Silver Lake. It's next to Thirsty Crow.
Oh, I know that one.
I've considered going to it. It's pricey though.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, why are they going to Silver Lake unless it's just really a good place or easy to film?
Yeah, probably a combo of both. But yeah, I've heard that's a wonderful nail salon. And then Natalie goes, Angelica, what the hell's up with you? We can talk about mommy gate all we want, but what is going on with you? And Angelica admits, which I think if you read between the lines, you could imagine this. If you're like, because she still lives with her ex. And she goes, do you sleep in the bed with your ex? And Angelica winks a little bit. And she's like, he's got an air mattress. But let me just say, he does end up sleeping in the bed every once in a while. And then Natalie goes, do you still make love or have sex? And she says, yes, we do have sex. It's hard out here sometimes. And you just want to have sex with your ex. So a little more complicated on her end than she led Jason to believe.
True. Yeah. So more to come on that. Yeah, there was like a little bit of a back and forth between Shane, Marcus, and Jason about their side of Jason saying he didn't go to Tom Tom, and he said that he called her after and that she hung up on him. So they're trying to he's like, this is so difficult, this whole thing. And it's like, all right.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, what do you expect, Jason?
Right.
What the hell? You're like, Angelica sums it up pretty well with Audrey about what a horrible relationship starter they had. Okay, now we're at Sir. It's a huge movie premiere for The Clouds. Lisa goes, I haven't seen it yet, but if it's anything like how I love Guillermo, I bet it's very good. So it was kind of a good red carpet interview. And then his heart is pounding because Angelica is the host for the evening, and he goes, I need to fix my hair immediately because I know I'm going to have to apologize to Angelica. And then he does, pretty quickly.
Yeah, he apologizes. He's like, and by the way, I know I called you clingy, but I like my girls clingy. And she's like, well, if I was your girl, then I would be clingy, but I'll give you a second chance. And this is where they plan their Taekwondo jiu-jitsu date. And later, when we go to that date, Angelica reveals on top of her neuroscience degree from UCLA, she's a second degree black belt in Taekwondo and was on the US team for 3 years. I was like, this bitch is wild.
Yeah, she's cool. I think Angelica's really cool. I mean, I don't know her really not
That's
at
like
all,
a crazy resume to be
she's done a lot
on
of shit.
Vanderpump Rules.
Remember when we met Kim and Angelica goes, I'm on episode 2 of Vanderpump Rules, so you don't know me yet, but you'll get to know me soon.
She was really
We were
nice.
yeah, she was like, Kim was so nice too. Oh my God. I can't think about any of these cast members differently now. I can't get mad at them at all because I love, they were all so sweet and nice. So they're going to go on a date. So when you said Jason and Angelica kind of seem like a dating show, do you mean it's so formulaic that we're seeing every step of the way? Or do you mean like the worst case version of that where it almost seems like they neither really cares about each other that much, but they want to kind of show off a budding relationship for us because they know it's worthwhile to see?
Yeah. It's hard to tell because she seems like she hates him. But she also seems like she likes attention, so maybe she just keeps going back to the well, and then each time she talks to him, she's like, this guy sucks. So that might be real, but and he's also just seems kind of low IQ.
Really?
Along with Shane. They're the himbos. I think actually, and Chris. I feel like Marcus seems like he has a little bit more going on. Venus is quick, but those other 3 guys, I'm like, you guys couldn't find your way out of a box.
Yeah. People always accuse the original cast of Vanderpump Rules of being, low IQ. And so if you're comparing Chris and Jason and Shane, though, to Jax and Schwartz and
another
Sandoval,
level.
I think that Schwartz and Sandoval and Jax seem like, rocket scientists.
Scholars.
I mean, real seriously, and people accuse them of being low IQ, but I think we're seeing a different tier. Well, no, I don't know. We'll see. The jury's still out about whether or not
IQ's not everything.
Of course not. Some people say, what is it? They don't even know. And then Marcus is having the time of his life behind the decks, so to speak, at the DJ booth. He goes, I'm going full-blown Neo mode back here, Matrix style. He's got Neo sunglasses. He's wearing all black, and he's having the time of his life. In the back of the DJ booth, he loves it. And then that leads to Kim arriving to see Marcus DJing, and then it's kind of awkward between her and Venus. And then she goes away to the back because it's so awkward. And we find out that Venus is like spiraling from how much he loves Kim and he misses their friendship. I feel like maybe 2 or 3 weeks have gone by and Kim's been giving him the cold shoulder for a really long time. And he realized that text he sent was too mean. So he fully on his own accord, he is the one who says, I really want Kim back in my life. I need to talk to her, which I thought felt kind of real. I felt like he was outside of his normal character when he texted them such mean stuff, like he was heightening his demeanor for the show. And then when he realized the ramifications of that, he was like, oh wait, I actually do love Kim and I miss her. She was my confidant here at SUR. So he kind of backpedals and gives a full mea culpa to her in the alley.
Yeah, and she also is like me and Marcus, which I keep like forgetting. For some reason, it's not clocking to me that her and Marcus are together. I know it's part of the plot, but it doesn't feel real or not like fake, but like
we don't see them enough.
They're not connected really, or I guess we just don't see them together enough. But I'm always like, oh yeah, because she's speaking in a we. She's like, me and Marcus have been the most vulnerable with you, Venus. Like you're our third, basically. If we had to leave SUR today and take anyone with us, it would be you. And I believed that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know why, if it's just the way they're portraying it or the way they seem, but I'm like, huh? Like Marcus isn't single?
Yeah, I agree with you. We haven't seen enough of Kim and Marcus. We only saw them like eating those Brussels sprouts that one time at their apartment, being in a relationship. So it's kind of hard. I don't take for granted that they're in a relationship at this point. But what I do agree with is that I do think that Venus, before the show started filming, he was their plus one, like she says, and she felt like she couldn't trust him anymore because she was like, we don't know this Venus. And that's why I say I think Venus's personality was sort of heightened by the show. But Venus is fully apologizing in this scene. And it could keep going. But then Demi comes out and she goes, what the hell is going on? We got the Clouds premiere in there. We've got a lot of people and you need to get back to work, which reminds us that we're not just filming a reality TV show with no boundaries. They have to actually work in this iteration. They're not famous enough to just sit out in the alley, for 2 hours.
She's serving Peter realness.
Yes.
Get back to work. We have a lot of tables that need you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a fruitful conversation. It went well. They're going to continue it, but he has to go back to work.
Yeah.
We go to this jujitsu date. Like I said, Angelica is a Taekwondo pro, but that means nothing for jujitsu. Totally different.
Yeah, and she was kind of like, why the hell did you do jujitsu when I am a Taekwondo expert? Like this one is like rolling around on the ground and much more like mat combat versus what she is good at. So it's kind of weird that he invited her, I guess, to jujitsu. And he is more, he was a wrestler or whatever, so I think he's more comfortable rolling around on a mat. So he shows off what he can do. And I know your mind was blown when you saw this. He starts flipping backwards and forwards on one hand. He's jumping around like crazy. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was wild. But then she dogged on him for wearing his belt wrong. And I'm like, wow, immediate fail.
Yeah, he flopped with the belt. I think she gets less and less attracted to him as this jujitsu date goes on because the guy is showing them. There's like a trainer who's showing them how to like kick out the leg from under someone. And then this is like the worst thing Jason could have done. I swear it's so embarrassing to me. He gets really into it and he starts shoving her down. He starts tackling her. He starts lifting her head over her leg over her head and
At one
holding her
point, it
by
was like they were swing dancing. He was like whipping her around.
There was one point where he spun her around for like a full 30 seconds and she was like, ow, this hurts.
Ah!
I really was so in Angelica's mindset. Like, what the fuck are you doing? When he sets her down, she goes, what the hell was that? You hurt me. I felt my vertebrae shaking. And like, I was like, God, getting hurt on a date with someone, there's nothing more unromantic than that. And he just kept doing it. He was getting too into it. It was really weird. And then he pins her down. He pulls her leg out from under her head. Her head hits the mat. He pins both of her arms down the mat.
He totally thought this was hot, and she was like, hello?
No, she was getting repulsed.
Am I okay?
She's looking up at him kind of like, what the fuck is going on? My back hurts. You just spun me around. I'm dizzy as hell. And then he goes, guess what? I got to tell you the truth. And she's like, no, oh my God, what? And he goes, I was talking to people all about at Barney's Beanery. I was talking to people. But I got out of it now, and I'm fully committed to you while she's pinned down. And this is now, they had this, on a bar graph or a chart or whatever. He's saying, I want to take this to the next level. And I think he just ruined his chances with Angelica at the exact same moment because he had lied to her multiple times about not seeing anyone up until that point. So she's repulsed by him in that moment, and he wants to take it to the next level with her.
Yeah, there's a montage of like 3 separate times that he told her that he was totally single. And then he tries to lean in for a kiss and she totally dodges it. And she's like, no!
She screams no, and he tries to take it in stride. He goes, it's not the worst when someone screams no, when they're pinned down on a mat. And then she goes, you just caught me completely off guard. And then when he lets her up, she runs away.
Yeah, she's like freaked the fuck out. She's like, get me the hell out of here. This little freak is trying to kill me. Okay, and then I guess because it's him, we'll just flow right in. There's like a little moment where they want to explain to us more what him and Chris's OnlyFans are.
Yeah.
So part of it is sexy. Part of it is like they were doing like bouquet making for mom, like for Mother's Day. So I don't know if they're trying to express that their fans are like older women. And they're talking about their struggle pre OnlyFans, like when they first moved to LA, that they were living in their cars. Jason claims that he was eating cat food, which I just don't believe.
No, so I thought about this. The first time I saw that, I go, what the hell are you talking about, Jason? He goes, yeah, the cat food in the aisle because I was trying to eat clean, on a budget or something. I think he just used the term cat food as being synonymous with tuna. But it was not apparent. And even when he's asked about it in the confessional, he doesn't let up that he's just calling canned tuna cat food. Because there's no way. I would have to imagine canned tuna is even cheaper than some of the cat food that he would have available to him. So it was just kind of a bad soundbite, I think, that he got lost in. Just a tuna. Just a tuna
guy. Giving wait, you've never seen Showgirls still, right?
No, I haven't.
There's a scene where she goes, I like doggy chow. And they talk about eating dog food, so you have that to look forward to. But that.
Maybe someone will choose it for Villa Rosa Film Society someday.
We could do that.
I just want to say overall that I value getting a peek at the OnlyFans industry. Like, I just think I think that this shows the new era that we're in a way where if this would have happened in the earlier Vanderpump Rules era, like we're getting for me, I don't subscribe to any OnlyFans, but I'm like, this makes sense. Like these guys had no money and they came to LA and they're like, Jason starts going on OnlyFans and starts raking it in. And Chris is like, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to put on underwear and I'm going to be sexy. And then also create, like they were doing like you said, like Mother's Day tutorials of like what they're going to do for their moms, like little heart-shaped photos and stuff. It was cool.
I mean, I know that where was it? So they talked about OnlyFans on Miami because Larsa does it.
Right.
And then like Denise and her daughter, and then Erica's like, which one of you make more on OnlyFans?
Right.
And they were trying to claim. I remember on, I think, Miami, some people were like, it's not all like porn, you know,
Yeah.
like there's all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, we should do it, but it would be like the most wholesome OnlyFans.
Yeah, I was just.
But I'm like, we would have to think of something different to offer than Patreon.
Well, I was just thinking Patreon is sort of our OnlyFans. I mean, you know what I mean?
know, but what if there's something a little bit, I'm like, how risky could we get?
Oh, yeah. I mean.
Feet pics?
Yeah. I mean, I was.
Riley's bare feet and Tiva's?
Yeah.
Or just with socks?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't want to get too personal. Well, no, I kind of like. Here's what I'll say. That's not too revealing. I really find this to be pretty, like I think that in a certain time of one's life, if this was available to them, that it's a pretty fortuitous thing to happen for some people, especially Chris and Jason specifically, who came to LA and didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they kind of like it. They're confident enough to show off their abs, and if people are willing to pay for it and they have a rapport with their fans, it's like, this is a pretty interesting thing, to see, and I don't find it too scandalous. That's why I was kind of taken aback by Lisa and Guillermo even trying to make a thing of it for a second, or Natalie specifically.
They didn't care. They just wanted to
talk
that
about
was total like producer hat, like to tee up later.
Yeah.
I know you loved Shane's dogs' names.
This is when it was kicking into high gear. I was like, I liked that OnlyFans stuff. They were like, Happy Mother's Day, and the person who was filming their content was like, so heartwarming. And then next scene was Shane, and it's Jar Jar is one of his dogs, and Obi is one of his dogs, which is so cool. And we learn a lot about Shane, stuff that I boggled my mind. I was like, what the hell is going on? He's got an extensive VHS collection he talks about. He's a screenwriter. And then, so what the scene is about is that he invites a girl to his home named Kristen that he wants to sort of have wine with and talk to. And it's like I guess she just broke up with her boyfriend or something, and maybe they had a fling before, and now she's able to come back into his life. So he gets her wine, he has fruit punch, and he gets to tell her his story about being shot and the tattoos that he has and everything. So it's kind of like a first date in a way. And he talks about how the first screenplay he's writing is his life story that we heard about.
Oh my gosh, it should be on Tubi, and he should star. Would watch. Someone sent us a link to the news story from when it happened, and apparently it was in a Walmart parking lot.
Whoa. Well, did you read? Was it exactly as he described, a friend group where?
Yeah, it was kind of confusing because, but it does say he was shot by his best friend.
Whoa.
It's about the other guy, and it goes, he shot his best friend, which I was like, it's kind of funny for a news place to signify best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of all of his friends, this one was the best one. Yeah, I guess it makes it more shocking.
For context. But yeah, apparently it was like there was a party, and then there was drama at the party, and they said, meet me at the Walmart parking lot, and then there was like a kerfuffle, and a lot of people got shot. Like, it was kind of crazy.
Whoa. Oh my God. Yeah. It looks like he got shot 2 or 3 times. And he goes, I do tell my life story pretty quickly. He goes, it's also an amazing way to show off my chest and my body and abs when I get to show these Band-Aids, which I'm sure does work well. And then he goes, and look at this last tattoo. And I said, what the hell is that? It's a big satanic hand, the devil, coming out from the clouds and trying to grasp the word hope. And he goes, it's the devil reaching for hope. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? Why wouldn't the devil be reaching up from hell?
True. Why is he up there?
And the devil reaching for hope, is it like my past? I'm the devil and I reach towards hope, and now I'm trying to be a better person.
He's a sinner. But yeah, I'm like, does the devil even need hope? I feel like he's feeling pretty good, the devil.
Yeah, the devil
very confident.
He loves what he's doing. He's cackling at all the sin that's going on. He loves it.
He's like, West Hollywood is my playground.
He goes, ha ha. He goes, this is what? Yeah, he doesn't reach for hope. He's hopeful enough. He's got a lot of sin going on. And then this was kind of weird. Odd. You don't see this very often. All of a sudden, Karina texts him, somebody named Karina, and he goes, ha, my sister is texting me. And he goes, wait in your car, with an exclamation point. And he goes, sorry, I know you have to get to a show.
Don't you have to leave?
He's like, finish
Get out of here.
finish your wine now, please.
They had like a 17-minute date.
And you can't meet my sister. And then I felt like the Kristen kind of knew what was up. Like,
Mhm.
like she knew that it wasn't a sister. And then he says in his confessional, you know, he goes, I'm ethically monogamous, where I tell everyone that I'm not exclusively dating, you know, so they don't get jarred by finding out. And then they go, the producer goes, then why didn't you tell what's her name? Kristen, about Karina. And he starts squealing and screaming and getting real crazy in the confessional. And he's like, I just don't have the heart to say that kind of stuff out loud. So he acknowledges that he's a little bit of a stinker still. He's not fully ethically monogamous.
If we had like a real operation where we actually made content with any gusto, I would love to get a tour of his VHS collection.
Yeah. Oh, me too. That would be awesome. He would probably let us do that. You mean if we said, hey, we're for Turtle Time News, can we come see your VHS collection? Yeah. Oh, I would love that. That would be so cool. He's probably got some cool stuff in there, some horror movies.
What do you think he has? I mean, he's a horror buff apparently, but how deep does it go?
I bet he's got The Thing, Alien 1, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is he like me? I have Troll 2 on VHS.
Oh my God, Troll 2 is so good, so scary. Oh my God, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. When they're getting,
I also have. Oh my God, yeah. What's the line? He goes like, "Oh my God, he's killing them, and he's going to kill me."
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen Troll 2 before, fire it up. It's right after The Room. There's The Room, which is the best bad movie you've ever seen in your life. I swear Troll 2 is probably second best, or some might even like it more. It's one of the worst movies, most fun, worst movies you could ever see. It's about a troll who comes to town, and he starts making kids go in a bunch of goo, right?
Goo. Yeah, goo plays a major role. And then I think my other prized horror VHS is I have House of the Devil on VHS, despite it being from 2009.
That was Ty West being fun, paying homage to the 80s.
It's in like the clamshell.
That is so awesome. I would love to see. I hope we get a little peek at Shane's VHS collection. And then he makes out with the girl that he said was his sister, but it's not. He immediately starts making out with her, and he goes, "Do you want to go watch a VHS of a horror film?" And he goes, "Karina loves the first 5 minutes of a bunch of films," and I thought that was kind of cool to say. He was like they just make out, and have sex before they can even watch a movie.
Yes. Okay, then we get another Audrey and Angelica debrief at her house with her cat. Angelica's like, holy shit, like my back is all fucked up from that jujitsu date. I can't even move. I want nothing to do with Jason. And Audrey's like, holy shit, like, damn, he sucks. And she goes, by the way, has he told you about him and Chris's OnlyFans enterprise? And she's like, I have no idea about this. And Audrey's like, well, on top of that, after I went surfing with Chris, stayed over at his place and was like, I need to take a shower. May I please? And he goes, down the hall to the right. And she goes in and she sees a penis pump in the shower. And then Chris comes in. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to use my shower. This is Jason's shower. And she's like, girl, Jason uses a penis pump, which I would go, my immediate response was, I mean, maybe he needs it for doing all these OnlyFans videos.
That's exactly what I said. I said, I'm done with this scandal. This isn't a big deal at all. He runs to the bathroom and he pumps his penis up so it looks bigger in his pants or in his underwear when he's going to show off his penis. I think, but they're trying to make it seem like it's why Austin Powers uses a penis pump.
That's not my bag, baby.
Yeah. Austin Powers famously, I think, the most vocal user, or I guess he says he doesn't use a penis pump. But I was just like, this makes so much sense to me. I mean, God knows you got to pump your penis to make it look bigger if you want it to look big for OnlyFans. I think that's very practical in a way.
Yeah.
But Angelica doesn't like Jason, and I still think, even though I'm giving credit to Jason for that, I think it is so horrible. I can't get over the fact that he hurt Angelica's back to the point that he did, that it causes electric shock tingles up her spine whenever she moves. Like, that is so horrible. And it comes into play next, the next scene, which is the Abbey, where everyone gets a group message or something like, we're all partying at the Abbey tonight. I'm so glad they did this. I loved seeing it. Everyone is going out. And what happens first? Venus brings his sister. Everyone shows up. We find out that Venus's sister actually got to make out with Peter one time. I guess that's huge. And then there's a very funny scene where, not funny, but kind of, it's a little funny. Jason thinks that him and Angelica are like, okay, probably. So he goes up to her, and Angelica keeps telling him how hurt her back is. She goes, I'm in a lot of pain right now. You really hurt me. And he goes, from jujitsu? He's like, oh, really? Your back hurts? Like, oh, you maybe got a pinched nerve or something. Like, he's not taking any accountability for what he did. And then she goes, no, I'm in serious pain. And then he starts talking about the food and completely ignoring her. He's like, I can't have cheese. And I feel like him talking about food and not taking her pain into account is really what set her off for the rest of the night. Was basically like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. She's like, I'm actually getting an MRI. And he's like, ooh, mozzarella sticks? Ooh, can't have those. And she's like, yeah, like getting an MRI tomorrow. And he's like, who ordered this? Can I have some? I'll make a plate for you.
Yeah, it was really weird to see Jason not listen. And, she does lay out the litany against Jason of how their relationship was so bad. And it does sound very, like, he slighted her so many times. They flirted for a day, then he made out with another girl at Barney's, then he invited her to a place where he didn't show up, and then he has a weird date where he injures her. It's like she's done at this point with him.
Yeah, she says, I think we're better off as friends. He's like, all right, fine. I think in his confessional, Chris is like, this chick is playing games, or maybe he says that to him in person. And then in his confessional, he says that she gives fake energy and he's like not into her. And he basically, by the end of this episode, is like waging a war against her. So Shane Davis joins. He's hot and heavy with Angelica. He goes, our chemistry is popping. I know that bro code is important, but I can't deny what's going on here. And they're very touchy-feely. And Chris is like, what the hell is going on over here? Good luck with her. And they're all like, what do you mean? And he's pissed.
Yeah. Chris is so pissed that Shane, his friend, has broken bro code against Jason. And at one point, Jason can't believe what he's seeing. He goes, fuck you, Angelica. At one point, he screams it at the Abbey because he's so upset that she's flirting, that they're flirting with each other. And they get, it's they're 0 to 100. They go from meeting each other for the second time, first talking ever. They acknowledge that each other is very attractive. And then they're touching each other, almost sitting on each other's lap, right in front of everyone. So they're all a little shocked. Even Audrey and Natalie can't believe this. Like, I think almost everyone is united that this seems too quickly. It happened too quickly between Angelica and Shane.
Right.
So yeah, also Chris at one point says that he doesn't believe that Angelica was hurt by his cousin Jason. He says, well, look at her. She was able to walk into the Abbey, so her back must not hurt that bad. And I wouldn't want to be the kind of the person that pretend or says that somebody's pretending that their back got hurt. Like, wait till he sees the footage of that date.
I feel like it's hard to get a MRI ordered.
Really?
You have to really have reason.
Oh yeah.
To get it approved.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. No, I was like, no, I said this story checks out completely. Did you see how he was flinging her like that? It was like, no questions asked. She needs an MRI from that. And then they all go to the dance floor, and Angelica wants to be with them because she's flirting with Shane. At one point, she goes, "Get your tongue out of your put your tongue back in your mouth." And they don't have the footage of his tongue like licking her ears or something. He goes, "I can't. You're making my tongue come out. I got to pull it back in." And she goes, "You better be good at. I hope you're good at pulling out." It gets very sexual. And then they go on the dance floor, and it's this awesome edit. Very cool blue lights, and they go close up on Shane and Angelica's face, and it's playing the song about monsters, and then it's like slow motion, and then they just slowly kiss and start to make out in front of everyone. It's very good editing for the end of this episode. Shocking.
And then next week we have a merch photo shoot to look forward to, and then I think Angelica goes like, when you smile, say penis pump. And Audrey's like, how dare you spread that thing that I told you I can never trust you again.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's going to be, she's not going to like that Angelica released that into the world. That was a private anecdote for her. But yeah, this was a good, I thought this was a great episode. There's still not, like I said, there's still not like a cohesive friend group where I get the camaraderie like we had on Vanderpump Rules, but at least it's delivering on some of the promise of what this show was pitched as, which is like all of these new relationships and people flirting with each other. So good. So why don't we retire for a minute, take a little certified turtle piss break, and then come back and recap this week's Salt Lake City. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good.
Okay. We're back.
Hello. We've been through a journey.
The Sisters of Salt.
That's what they're called.
That's that Greek play that they did. What? We finally got to see it.
Do you think we could hire that woman and have her write about us in the style of a ancient Greek
Absolutely.
play?
Stella? Yes, of course we could. Yeah, she would interview us each on our own and say what we truly feel about each other, and then we could have the exact same thing happen, reveal the truth
she's like,
about each other.
Riley is a little bitch.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like,
And
oh.
you look at me like I'm the only other person that gave her
I'm
info.
like, Amy, you are so wonderful. It's like, I didn't talk shit about you. So this was, I didn't know you could do this. I got to be honest. When I was thinking about going to Greece, I never thought that they would write a tragedy for me or for you. This is cool.
Cool new service unlocked.
I've never seen anything like this in any, and probably in Housewives history, right? We've never seen a Greek tragedy before like this.
It's true. I feel like it's very up our alley. I bet most people are like, literally, what the fuck is this? And we're like, seems right to me.
Yeah, I think it's, audacious, and I think it'll strike the chord that makes Salt Lake City feel elevated. Like, people will be screaming and squealing when they see this, and they're like, oh my God, the masks and Greek tragedy. Like, I feel like it's definitely in the wheelhouse of what we've come to expect from Salt Lake City, but I do have to say that in a way, it was kind of just an elaborate version of sitting at a table and saying, who do you trust the least? And just asking people to talk shit to each other.
That's true.
It's the exact same finale as last year where they said, let's read the worst texts about each other. And then it's like, obviously drama and conflict is going to come from that because people are saying horrible things. So this was just a very heightened way of kind of showing that off. And it led to the exact same outcome where, people were disappointed in what was said. And then, obviously Meredith takes hers to heart the most. But, I don't know how people will feel about this episode. I think that it will be kind of so over the top that it'll appease Salt Lake City fans. But I have to say personally, I'm pretty disappointed in this finale. I just got to say.
Yeah, I did end up feeling slightly bored or burdened. At the beginning, I had a smile, and then as time went on, I was like, I'm getting tired.
You were like a Greek tragedy mask.
Yeah, it flipped.
Yeah, you're just like that.
This is a total non sequitur.
Go for it.
But I keep thinking about, like, I'm trying to think of like all of the media I've watched that have borrowed from this sort of thing. Like, I think in Mighty Aphrodite, sorry, we always bring up Woody Allen, but it just is what it is. There's like a Greek chorus that is referenced throughout. And then I was thinking, it's not Greek, but can you remind me of, because it keeps popping into my head, in the Phoenician scheme, it keeps popping to this like heavenly panel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did that play into the movie?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't even remember. And like, Willem Dafoe is like God up there. I didn't really know. He was being judged and accounted for up in a sort of heavenly court, I think, right? That they would flash
it feels kind of like that.
Totally. It is giving sort of like a Greek tragedy in a way. Yeah, I was also trying to think of what my sort of Greek tragedy stuff that this was, kind of giving me an inkling of. I guess what I want to say is that even though I was blown away by that this took place in sort of a what was that, like an ancient playhouse theater, like with surrounded by rocks. It's like, that's awesome. Like,
yeah,
you got to give them credit. But it really fell apart when they got to the Meredith shit, which we'll talk about. I was like, I've told you, I've had enough. And I felt like this was such a flop for Heather. I'll get into it when we get there. But this was like a pathetic ending that Heather tried to make into one of her patented finales, and she blew it big time. When she was left crying and Whitney was holding her, I was like, what the hell are you crying about? Because Meredith didn't lay down and die after you called her a drug addict and an alcoholic and that her husband is cheating on her. It made no sense why Heather, it was only put on Heather because she feels like the finales are hers and she is the one who needs to make them meaningful. And she flopped.
I felt like Bronwyn felt the same pressure. Like she was really going to bat on this episode, and I was becoming confused. It's almost like the first thing because besides us seeing Angie's lip being swollen as hell from running into the breakfast guy, and then talking to Stella, which we can get into, but Bronwyn is narking about Meredith in the late of night was like texting like, come see me, we must talk, I'm very upset. What she said, what were you guys talking about at lunch? I need to know, tell me. And then Meredith is like, I didn't do that. She's like, you were really stressed about the play and I was trying to tell you, like, whatever you told her will be like the worst shit that you said is what they'll use, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, there's this. Yeah. Okay. So that's another undercurrent of this finale that apparently I sort of believe Bronwyn. I believe Bronwyn that Meredith said, "What the hell did you talk about at lunch?" Because I don't want this Greek tragedy to be about me getting cheated on by my husband. Like I don't want this major surprise. But I do believe, I guess, that Meredith broke protocol in a way. Apparently, they're aghast at the idea that Meredith wanted to have an off-camera conversation with Bronwyn so she could get the gossip and be ahead of the curve. That's why I think Heather finds it so egregious. And I was like, wait, I forgot. I was like, you can't talk off-camera about stuff and ask people what happened. Right. Like, in a normal world, you and I could go, if we were at a sleepover with a bunch of friends, and I'd be like, hey, did they talk shit about me at lunch? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry. We really did. But it's like, that's, I guess, an unspoken rule because we don't see it. So then we wouldn't know that Meredith has that information. So there's sort of a fourth wall break thing going on here that Meredith, I guess, should never know information that she doesn't get on camera from someone, kind of.
Yeah. I was just like, when they have that rooftop conversation and Bronwyn gets so pissed off and is like accusing her of gaslighting and, saying, I'm the only one that ever sticks up for you. And you asked me off camera, are you lying or don't you remember? Like, good luck with these other bitches. They'll never have your back, and storms off. I was just like, huh? I was like, this is about whether or not she asked about lunch.
Right.
Like, who cares?
Yeah, of course. I get that too. And that's why I was saying like, yeah, you're not allowed to say like what you did, like at a lunch, like that's off limits. But I think Bronwyn was more shocked at the audacity of Meredith potentially lying to her if Meredith did ask that. And then Meredith is kind of being like, I don't ask you things off camera. Don't ever say that. Wink, wink. We never talked off camera. I don't get the secrets out, before they're revealed to me. So I feel like Bronwyn is kind of still learning the ropes, and she couldn't believe that Meredith, used her potentially like that, or that she would lie to her on camera. So I kind of understand everything that people's grievances, but it still doesn't add up to what they're trying to make, which they're trying to make Meredith the victim of this Greek tragedy. They want this to be a tragedy about Meredith, which I do not think it is in any way. I came back to my full belief that they don't have shit on Meredith. She's like, I don't even do drugs. What the hell are you talking about? I barely drink.
It's like she can't win because when Bronwyn is talking to Mary about the Meredith thing, Mary's like, wow, the fact that she even asked about the lunch shows that something's really wrong.
Yeah. No. Oh,
like,
my God.
What?
Yeah. It's like she asked about lunch and she's like, do you not even remember asking me about lunch?
She's just being paranoid.
Yeah. And then Meredith says, you just scream at me nonstop. You just did it. And they're like, no, we didn't. It's like, it's crazy. Meredith cannot win in these circumstances at all. So we'll get to that. But like you said, Stella comes over and Angie goes, Stella, ask them deep things, and you write a play about them. And so they do a kind of a funny thing where they only give us a little peek into what they said, but they evaluated themselves, and then they told little attributes about the people around them: dingbat, moron, prideful, guarded, and so that she can script a play about all of them at the end. So kind of, that's an interesting, scene setter.
Do you think the producers also gave Stella like a little one sheet per?
I think yes. Because when she said, you are all at a table and you look to your left and you say this about thy friend, it's like that's specifically a Housewives scene that they've done, a trope that they've done over and over again. So I think that they gave them sort of the scene that this play should take place in. Yeah. So once they do that, Meredith is acting again, sort of calm and easy or whatever. They're all can't stop remarking on Meredith. They're like, can you believe these horrible swings in her behavior? And then, like you said, Whitney and Heather really want to comment on it because it adds to their mission, this season, to talk about the swings in Meredith's mood. And then I think that they are sort of like Bronwyn goes to Mary and tells her what you said, which is like, I feel very uncomfortable that Meredith went to me and asked like what happened at the lunch. Like she felt like she's been used by Meredith multiple times for Meredith to disseminate information and gossip. Like she uses Bronwyn in a way. And then they show the instances where this has happened actually in the past. Bronwyn said the barfing thing about Brittany. And then Bronwyn is the one that revealed that Whitney was really talking about drug addiction and stuff after the plane flight. So there is a pattern of Meredith doing stuff like this.
Yeah, I feel like Mary is the only one that feels convincing in her concern. Whenever Bronwyn brings it up, she keeps trying to shoehorn in, like, I know when I'm on edge about my marriage and not sure if we're going to make it, that I get defensive. So maybe that's what you're like. She keeps trying to be like, I'll give you a little nugget about my life to make it okay for me to talk about Meredith's marriage. But I don't know. I feel like Mary's the only one that wouldn't play along. Everyone else I feel like has an agenda, whereas Mary doesn't really do that, I don't think.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't even know if Mary specifically, when they get to the end of it, Mary's just like, you're not okay. You're not normal. You're being weird. And I'm like, are you accusing her of being on drugs? It's so different than just being like, you're not okay. There's something deep. Like, I don't even know if Mary actually believes that Meredith is on drugs, but she referenced Robert Jr., so you have to believe that. But you're right. Mary seems more tempered about what her accusations are, that there's just this nebulous cloud around Meredith. But everyone else is like, it's either drug addiction, alcoholism, or then Bronwyn is like, or is it cheating? It's like the fact that they have such disparate things that they're trying to put on Meredith shows that this is a weak case. They can't all even coalesce on one thing to talk shit about her through this whole thing.
Yeah. No, but Meredith is over it. They go to that. Her and Meredith have that conversation. We kind of covered it. They yell at each other. And then they go to a winery to meet Angie's cousin. How do you say his name? It's like Mikali or something.
Yeah. I think exactly that. I remember perfectly, and it was just that. And he's wonderful. A cousin.
Seems sweet.
Yeah.
He tells the story of her family. Apparently, they moved to Salt Lake in 1909. She has big dog over probably everybody. Well, I don't know. Maybe those cousins go way, way back.
Yeah, Heather and Whitney. Yeah, they were early on that big wagon that came to town.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this. I didn't know when you say Salt Lake. I'm like, I just don't think of anything. And then they're like, no, it was the salt mines. Greeks were coming over to get the salt out of the mines. So that was kind of an interesting tidbit. So this is her dad's brother? No.
I think.
Okay. He was cool. He was like, I love you all so much. Thanks for bringing so many beautiful ladies to be next to me. He was kind of just being, fun, right?
Yeah. I wish we had more time with him, frankly. She, gets into a little bit about her mom's history and how she wants to bring her daughter there to learn more. And when they're on the bus back, Meredith is like muttering in the back, like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like she's so miserable. And then Bronwyn just starts openly talking shit about her to everyone in the van and is like, I had a conversation with her and she's denying it. And Meredith is like, I was not pumping you for information. And Bronwyn accuses her of gaslighting, which I would say Meredith has a case that she is being gaslit by the entire group, unless there's a true secret we don't know about. But it feels gaslighty what everyone is saying to her.
Yeah. I also feel like it was underwhelming just because there's been so many explosive finales in the past. And I really thought that they were going to do something with the Meredith through line and be like, I have the footage. Let's put it on a big projector at this Greek theater and we're going to watch Meredith. You know what I mean? It just like didn't even have anything close to that. And I almost was starting to get conspiracy minded. I was like, maybe the reunion trailer didn't have a lot of shit in it because they didn't want to like leak anything before this explosive finale. But it really was not that, you know, so that's just my expectations. But Bronwyn kind of goes, she kind of goes to a 10 on Meredith. She's like, you won't bleed me dry anymore. You've used me and to fuck over other people. And she goes, and also, I know I'm exactly right, and you're quiet for once because you know it's true. Fuck it, Meredith. So she really, and I kept thinking the entire time about how Bronwyn post this season was like Meredith's the one that needs to be kicked off this show because she doesn't like reveal enough about herself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we head over to this ancient amphitheater or whatever it is. Mary's like, ew, it's old. Looks like a haunted house.
She's probably
whatever is going on here.
She's probably right that it's old. Don't you think?
Definitely old. They give everybody special colored scarves that will coordinate with the actors in the show, so you know who you're looking at, which was a smart way to do it, I would say. And yeah, we get our woman who's the narrator, and she's like, behold the daughters, 8 born of one house, the sisters of the salt.
Yeah, Sisters of Salt, which I love. You know, I've never thought of that, like a play on them as the Sisters of Salt. And the play is like, we'll talk about all of it, but it's it's a little long. But I think the gist of it is 8 people sit at a table. They're the Sisters of Salt, and they all said something bad about each other. And then at the end, I hope it's okay to spoil it, but they drink, poison, and then they all die. But first, we sort of have to go through what they all said about. It doesn't
have much form. It's like, then Meredith comes out and is like, she's a bitch, and then Mary said.
She has a mask of which, when she lifts it, it reveals her face. And Bronwyn has no mask, and she's two-faced. And it's like, okay, yeah, a lot of Greek tragedy stuff in here. They were like, Lisa, by far the eldest of all the sisters, and everyone starts to laugh.
Astray.
Yeah, and it was just exactly what you think. Heather deflects with humor, but she's deeply, deeply wounded. You laugh because crying would make it real. You hide behind your humor and all this kind of stuff. Mary has a barbed tongue, and she needs to, I forget what Mary's was.
Yeah, a blade sharpened by truth. And Bronwyn saves secrets like trinkets.
Yeah, Bronwyn was upset by her. She was like, you read me like a book. She was like, God damn, I got blasted by this Greek tragedy. Yeah, she was like, you wear secrets like trinkets. You have no loyalty.
You trade them amongst the ladies for favors.
Yeah, you treat loyalty like a party favor. And then Lisa, you wear wealth like a shield. You act like a queen among servants. Women beneath your marble pedestal. I was like, God, she got off light. Like Lisa gets sad by that, but I was like, that's not too bad based off all the other
like you're shallow. Get over it.
Yeah, humility is the one thing you can't afford, Lisa.
Yeah, damn.
And then Angie's got dagger tongue too, just like Mary.
They repeated that. I was like, you already kind of said that. Like a lot of masks, a lot of dagger tongue, but then Whitney, they were like, she's a whore. And no one listens to a word she says.
It was like, maybe there's some wisdom in passing, but it goes like the wind and no one ever recognizes it or hears it. I was like, that was perfect for Whitney. Yeah, and she needs to speak up more. And then Meredith is her tongue is like a maze in which when the wind comes out of her voice, it's like shouting into a maze when she lifts her mask up. And she says you drift into brilliance and confusion, and your behavior is unpredictable.
It's like a fortune cookie.
I wanted to say I don't think that Meredith's behavior is that unpredictable. Besides the extreme examples of "you can leave" and when she spoke, she did those different accents after "you can leave," and when she yelled at Brittany for recording, like. I have friends that are weirder and wilder than Meredith, and I see it all the time with them. Like, is she that shocking? Is she that like a much of a roller coaster mood wise? I don't see it.
Yeah, they're acting like it's really insane, and for me, I feel like she doesn't do that much. Like, I'm kind of bored.
Me too. Yeah, it's like, where's this roller coaster that we're all on? I do wish that if they're going to go this in on assassinating Meredith's character, I wish they would reveal some secret that not just Bronwyn's stupid secret about who ate lunch with, what'd you do at lunch? Like, I wish they would have been like, you barfed and I saw pills in your, like, you know what I mean? Like, what is backing this up? And like, I think at this point you have to reveal the incriminating evidence you have besides plain gate or whatever, which everybody has gotten over at this point. But then, Meredith was, her words are like going into a maze. But then they say, and then everybody at dinner for some reason lifts up a glass to cheers, but it's full blown poison. And it kills them all. And then as the candlelight flickers over their stricken faces, the truth is revealed. You're no one without your sisters. Kind of impactful at the end there.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah, like they all killed themselves. It kind of was like that holding a grudge is like drinking a big thing of poison and expecting the other person to die, except they all die.
Yeah, no franchise without your sisters.
Yeah.
And they all are completely stunned. Actors leave and they're all just sitting there amazed. Heather says, well, they nailed it, obviously. And Bronwyn's like, I was horrified by the things that I saw. There were tears pouring down my face the entire time, and we should all be ashamed.
Yeah, she goes, I caught a stray, but a lot of you did. It was horrible for all of us. I felt mine. Did you guys? Because mine was really bad.
She's like, yours were bad. Like, if you don't think yours is bad, you should really think about why it was.
Think about yours more. Mine was bad. Yours was too. Remember Meredith's about the speaking into a big, having words like a maze? And
Semantics.
then she goes, I am not loyal to people. She read me like a book. She goes, I'm not loyal because I've never had people loyal to me. My parents weren't loyal to me when I had my daughter. And Todd, I got to say, has been disloyal to me. So she's leaking out little bits of Todd stuff, like you were saying. She's like allowing Todd to be talked about in their marriage. So I think she was the most hurt by hers of all of them. She was kind of wrecked by it. But she goes, but what about you all?
Right.
Please tell me you were.
Bronwyn is consistently she's on the precipice of a journey, which we now know is her divorce, where she's just like leaking, needing therapy. Like, she's always thinking about these big themes in her life. And she said herself, she's like, I have a lot to figure out. So maybe she'll be Bronwyn 2.0 next season. She'll be powerful.
Oh, I bet so. She's got all of the hallmarks to be the most powerful person in the world. I think Bronwyn's doing great. She's killing it. I was mad at her when she said she wouldn't reveal about Todd earlier on the trip when Angie asked about it. She was kind of like lying to all of our faces, but it seems like she got past that. I loved this moment though. When I was starting to sour on the finale, I did love this Lisa and Angie moment that is coming up. So first, Lisa says, mine hit me like a ton of bricks. She goes, that I hide behind things. And when she says that, she starts to cry immediately because she knows that there was some truth to it. And then Angie goes, what made you sad about that? And she goes, that I hide behind my things. And she goes, Angie goes, your watch. your rings, like sort of teeing her up, like, are those the things that you hide behind? And then Lisa gets sort of deep into her psychology. She's like, for me, it's a sign of accomplishment because I've always had to work so hard. I took care of my little sisters. And then she gives the sort of sad grain of truth in it, which is that she says, I'm constantly probably disappointed in myself, which I think was a lot for her to reveal. And then that leads to a beautiful Lisa and Angie moment where Lisa says to Angie, she says, I think that we have a natural craziness, both of us, and that even when we're mad, I feel like there's this underlying deep love. And that's something that I sense between them. Whenever they're fighting, I'm kind of like, what the hell? You guys love each other. Like, they are such a match, Angie and Lisa. So I was glad that they that Lisa spoke up about that. And then Angie feels the same way. She smiles and she goes, I haven't been a good friend to you this season, but I always do love you and I want our friendship back. So it was almost worth the Greek tragedy for me just to have that a moment between Angie and Lisa.
Yeah, it was cute. They like held hands and looked into each other's eyes. But anything productive is now done because Meredith starts talking and she says that she was trained to use words very carefully. She's crying while she says this and says she's very sensitive. And then Heather, she's like opening up and you're like, I thought that everyone was going to speak a little piece about their thing and everyone would be like, thank you for sharing, like, and go down the line. But as she's opening up about this and being a very sensitive person, Heather's like, well, what about when you said what Bronwyn told you? You're always leaking what she tells you. And Whitney's like, you wanted to know what was going on at our lunch.
Yeah. So they take this sort of redeeming moment, a beautiful moment where they can all kind of reckon with what was said about them and grow from it. And then I feel like Heather and Whitney were like, wait, this isn't the finale we want. We want this to be about Meredith. And so they fully use what Meredith is saying to say that she's not the victim. She's secretly a powerhouse wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. And then this is when, to me, it goes off the rails because Whitney and Heather ultimately do not get what they want from this Greek tragedy play.
Right. Yeah, they're like, oh shit, this is getting out of hand. We need to reel it back into our narrative here. And she's like, I didn't care about the fucking lunch. I don't care. And she actually storms off. This is where Mary pleads to the group and is like, what are we doing? Why are we all even here if we're not friends? We're better than this. She's like, we're mothers, we're wives, we're, what did she say? Like, powerhouse entrepreneurs.
Yeah, she's like, we're big old women. And she's spiraling out. Why can't anyone tell her that? I'm like, just tell her that. I mean, please, someone. Like, I'm. It's so hard for me to like get in on this. Like, I just cannot. I cannot come to terms with what they're trying to do here. And then Meredith comes back. She's like, I'm not going to just sit on the toilet for the rest of the finale. I'm going to give you what is owed. I know that this is the finale. Again, I almost think that they shouldn't know that this is like the finale at some point. Like all franchises knowing that they're filming the finale leads them to have these sort of desperation moments where they're trying to get the most they can. Like production should just lie to them and say, hey, we know we actually extended. We've got 2 more weeks just to see like if organic stuff could happen and not them trying to do shit like this to make it impactful. But anyway, Meredith goes, what's the goal? And then this is when Mary goes, I'll tell you what the goal is. You're not okay. We all talk about it all the time. Everyone says it. She's even lumping Lisa in with it. We all talk about you constantly, how not okay you are. Meredith's like, I am okay. What are you talking about? And at this point, there's not one hint that I think that Meredith is not okay when she comes. She's not too drunk. She didn't take a pill before this. She seems very coherent and normal. And she was opening up and she was crying and she was being honest. And then you're all like berating her over and over. There's nothing worse than someone telling you you're not okay if you feel okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mary's like, I hope you're okay, but I don't think you are. And she's like, no, I am. And she's like, you're really not.
Yeah, you're committed to being angry and sad. And Meredith's like,
Yeah.
I'm sad sometimes. I'm not very angry. I'm sensitive and I have a lot on my sleeve. She goes, I want to leave this world in a better place than when I got here. And so I have a lot of stuff on my shoulders. And then Heather shakes her head like, oh, this sucks. Oh my God. She's not admitting she's a drug addict and that her husband cheats on her. Oh, this sucks. This powerhouse over there. She's like, she's so disdainful. And then Whitney goes, can I say something? And everybody should just unanimously be like, no. Don't say anything.
She grabs her by the face because she's like, I cannot let this moment pass. She's like, look at me. She goes, your behavior, the only reference I have for anyone that's ever acted this way is my dad. That's my only, which, you know, we all just know that she means a drug addict who she doesn't speak to anymore. And she's like, I'm sorry, that's just the only person I could compare you to. And that is what it is. And then she's like, okay. And then and then Bronwyn is like, and by the way, I wish you could confide in us because I've had a hard time in my marriage and I acted like you're acting right now. And she goes, my marriage is as strong as it's ever been. Don't even go there, honey. And she goes, well, I saw him at a restaurant in New York. And you're like, damn, they're really all just like scrapping the bottom of the barrel. Like, what do we have that we could throw against the wall? Like,
and Lisa's shocked at this point. She's like, what the hell are you doing? What did you just say? I thought we were on drug addict stuff. What the hell are you talking about? Did you just accuse Seth of cheating on Meredith? Like, Lisa cannot believe what is happening. At this point, she is off the train with them.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't give a fuck about this finale. What are you guys doing? You're complete bullies here against Meredith. Like, the Bronwyn thing was, which this is what I said last week, too, and Bronwyn brought that up, and both Mary and Whitney were kind of like, I don't know. Like, they didn't want to say it, but they were like, that's not really a part of the narrative that we're trying to weave here. So it seems very out of place. I feel like Bronwyn really blew it by bringing that up. And then she endeared Lisa to Meredith so much so that it kind of ruined the finale after that, you know, because they don't really know what to do after that, because Meredith is like, I'm not going to just sit here and now have cheating accusations again against me. So Meredith is out at this point. She like wants to get the car service to go. And Lisa's consoling her. And then Whitney tries to get another piece of Meredith, which I've realized that Whitney's strategy is just to say the worst shit, despicable shit, lie about someone, be absolutely horrible to someone, so that person has to confront her, and then she gets a moment or a scene with that person that she's aggrieved, and then she can just apologize to them. That's kind of her MO almost every single season. So she does that with Meredith, and she goes, Lisa, get away. Lisa's like, you are not a safe place for her, which is so true. It's like, Meredith, don't spend one fucking second with Whitney. Like, this is going nowhere.
Right.
Whitney is the one that none of them trust for 1 second at all. They just have to deal with her on the show completely.
So yeah, she tries to leave. Heather goes and runs after Meredith, is like, no, you don't. You're coming right back with me. No way you're getting out of this. And Meredith is like, my mental health is fine. My physical health is fine. I don't drink very much. I don't do drugs. And my husband is loyal to me and I am loyal to him. So I don't know what the fuck the problem is. And she goes, I drink less than most of these women. Do you really want me to start counting your drinks? Which I'm like, no, they do not.
No, I thought even though that was not very fun, like that's not a fun quote to take out of context and be like, wow, Meredith ate with that one. It was so great in juxtaposition of what they're trying to throw at her, for her to just be fully honest. She was kind of speaking for me, just being like, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. What the hell are you guys talking about? I'm completely fine, and you're not going to just pin all of your problems on me. Like, I really like that she just said that to them at a certain point, because I feel like it brought some reality back to this scene, you know, that she stood up for herself in a way. And so, yeah, Whitney then has her moment trying to do it. And then Heather, this is towards the end when Meredith is calling the car service. And then Heather tries to sort of lord over the group again as the spokesperson. And she really makes it an us versus them moment. She kind of like is a bully, or like a high school, goes into full high school mentality, being like, oh, Lisa, what are you doing over there? Guess what? You're so clearly Team Meredith. You're lumped in this too now. You guys can either get the fuck out or come back here and confront this shit. And they're like, no. Lisa's like, what the fuck are you going to do? What does Meredith have to account for with you? That she's a pill popper? Like, she wants to leave. You guys blew it with her, and now we're going. Your scene is over. And then Heather is having one last gasp of trying to make it work. By pitting them all against each other, basically being like, you guys are out. We're going to take you both down, and Salt Lake City is going to be us without you guys next season.
Yeah, she's like, it's you two versus the world. Just
Yeah.
go, get out of here. Like, she is fully sobbing, and the remaining group, besides Lisa and Meredith, are just comforting her. And it's like, yeah, what the hell is going on? She also cried earlier, like when they were talking about the play and about uh and like when Mary was saying, we can't even say there's something wrong about Meredith, she was crying there, so everyone's like very emotional.
She's faking crying.
Just completely 100%.
She's just faking crying. Yeah, I'm being so mean, but I don't give a shit. There's no reason why she's crying. What is she sad about? What is she mad about? She's mad that she lost out on a scene. She's mad that she couldn't be the yielder of a great finale like she's done since season 4. Like, she wanted that moment. She wanted to speak and preach from the high heavens and provide accountability and a nice, neat bow for this finale, and she lost because she couldn't handle Whitney. Whitney blew it. Bronwyn sabotaged it, and so she's just left there crying because she created a flop finale. All of her work, was just left to shit at the end of this thing. And so she's crying. And then Whitney's like looking up at her, like holding her, like, oh my God, look at Heather. Oh my God, this is so, it's like, what are you talking about? What happened? Nothing is wrong.
Right.
Meredith's calling a car service because she doesn't want to deal with you guys anymore. It's not a big deal. And then I was so surprised, and the credits start rolling at that. I was like, what a bad finale. Like, film with them at home or something for just a little pieces at the end of it of them like talking about the Greek tragedy play or something. I couldn't believe that it ended like that.
I also they did the little end of season cards where they do the little updates, and I'm like, do the actual women provide any sort of an update, or is it now just, I think it's kind of always been this way, but I don't feel like you can rely on the information in those at all. Like, it'll be like it's always just a little joke.
Yeah, it was like Lisa talks to trees now, so John says she's a good listener if the trees are listening. Yeah, it's like, I think it's like one sentence of what they're actually doing, and then one producer joke in there for all of them. But yeah, that was when those title card or end credits were coming up for all of them. It just really kind of
like,
felt deflating for the finale.
Meredith made her Mother's Day reservations a year in advance. I was like, all right.
Okay, because she liked Mother's Day
Like,
from
who
2
wrote
episodes from 2 episodes ago. Yeah, so I think that you and I were very, well, I'll just speak for myself. Like, I was forgiving of this season because I love the cast, so much. I think they're all so funny, perfect cast, OGs for this long. Like, it's probably the best franchise actively, but I think this was a rough season for them, making Meredith and Lisa their target the entire time. And then the Lisa thing is just gone. I mean, besides her sticking up with Meredith at the end, they didn't even have like a way to end the Lisa arc. All they had was Angie proclaiming her love for Lisa at the end, which is a huge loss for that group now that Angie loves Lisa again.
Did you see that meme where it was like, it's the butt of the horse, it's a really well-drawn horse, and then by the end it's like a stick figure, and everyone was like, this season of Salt Lake.
Did people say that?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my God. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. It started out with that fake Blair Witch shit. Remember? I thought that was a pretty bad premiere, actually.
Oh my God, that feels so long ago.
Yeah. You can't win them all. It really, though, it was enlightening to me to see kind of Heather revealed like this. I really saw a different side of Heather. I don't know if she'll ever admit it. I was always Team Heather for all of the seasons, and I kind of turned a blind eye to some of the shit that she did. But her in a position of power, I realized that she just tries to bully people off the show. Like, it was kind of crazy. And the fact that she's forgiven Whitney for all the shit that Whitney has done to Heather, I can't believe it. They're like one of the worst duos in history together. They really reinforce the worst impulses of each other.
I'm curious what the reunion will really be. I mean, it's 3 parts, so they have plenty of time. But is Andy gonna make them go in on the Meredith stuff and be like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?
I hope part 2 is all that. What the hell was this? He's like, you talked about this for 8 episodes. What the hell was going on? I don't know. I mean, they always, we are always surprised when they have 3 parts to any season. So we'll see, and maybe it'll all be justified. I hope. I always love reunions, so I hope it's good. They've got enough to talk about, but I feel so like loyal now for some reason to Meredith, even though, like you said, I'm like, if I was ranking the cast members in terms of my enjoyment of them, I would probably rank Meredith towards the bottom. But I just do not like seeing someone being bullied off the show, like by Bronwyn. New people are like, I want to take Meredith's spot. Like, I hope that Meredith just stays on the show to spite them and tries to redeem herself and get back. But I also would not be surprised if she's like, fuck this. I like Next Gen NYC. I like my son, and I hate how I'm treated by these people. I hate you all, and I'm not going to be on this show again. And I don't know if it'll lose quality after that, but they kind of they potentially ran her off the show. I could imagine a world where she doesn't come back next season.
She can just DJ. She's doing that all the time.
God, she's a great DJ. I saw her at BravoCon. She was killing it. People were crowd surfing. It was awesome.
Did you see that Kyle is doing a Kyle Let Him Cook tour? He's touring as a DJ now.
I saw that. Holy shit. Is there a date in our city?
No.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, damn. All right. Well, I wish I could see it.
Too bad for us.
Yeah. All right. Well, we kind of ripped through that, maybe because we were ripping through that Greek tragedy, but
Yeah.
I hope that there was some merit to me feeling, like this was a lackluster finale, but it was still, there's still some great stuff in there, but I think it was kind of reflective of the season overall. So
yeah, we still have Southern Charm and Beverly Hills, and then before you know it, this month, I think Summer House is back.
I think so. I mean, I think it's in the next 3 weeks or something that we're going to be in the Summer House world again. And I love that we know absolutely nothing about what the hell is going to go on.
I know that it won't disappoint.
I know that too. Oh my God. You never count Summer House out. All right. Well, let's say our goodbyes. Let's say that please, if you enjoyed this episode, maybe it's your first time listening to Turtle Time. I don't know how the hell that's possible, but if it is, we do have a Patreon, the Turtle Time Patreon, where we do a recap series of Vanderpump Rules. If you pay, you get an episode each week, and there are also fun other tiers where one of the tiers for $10 a month, we recap a movie every month, and we just released our much anticipated discussion about When Harry Met Sally. For January. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, we really got into it. I think it's worth it to just do the twofer where you get both, because that's 5 extra episodes a month. Maybe you don't want that much, but that's a good value.
Could you imagine getting 5 episodes a month for $10? A movie episode and then 4 of our episodes of our Vanderpump Rules recap series. So that's a great place if you need a little more, if you want to splurge on yourself. And then also if you don't financially, if you can't support us, any little thing helps on the internet, like a like on YouTube or a comment or review or Spotify comment. I love seeing those. Now, so any way that you want to interact with us is very helpful and fun. If you want to tell a friend.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't gotten a new Apple review in a minute. I love seeing those, so do that too.
Oh, please do that. I love seeing those Apple reviews. I look at them kind of tentatively. I open it up and I close one eye and I go, oh boy, I'm a little worried. But they're mostly 99% wonderfully positive.
Yeah, it's true.
So, cool.
All right, well, we'll be back end of the week with Southern Charm and Beverly Hills. We'll see you then.
See you then. Goodbye.
Bye.